And then just the final thing I'll say to Nods is Dak is not that guy.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. Got a packed show for you today. We have Jared Bloom on the podcast talking about our close matchup this week. Got a couple new segments that we're going to introduce to you, so I think it's a fun one. Side note, still looking for a sponsor for the show, and just wanted to mention, got my Architect Mechanical hat on. Tate, if you can secure a sponsorship for us, I'd love to talk. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, welcoming back to the podcast. You know him, you love him. He is the ultimate Young Ho respecter, Jared Bloom, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you. You're recording out of North Carolina right now. How's the weather? How are you doing out there?
Down in the swamp, I'm surviving. Definitely still summer, so that's fun.
Are you ready to be? For those of you that don't know, Jared will be moving back to the great state of Minnesota in November. You excited to be back? Do you have a place? What's the plan?
I think I'm going to be living in Tate's basement. I don't know if he knows that or is informed. So, yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Watch some games with the boys. Hit up 280 maybe. Get it going.
There was a 280 slander in the chat, and I will not take that.
I think ridiculous. It was from Aaron. He likes to slander things. It's all good. We'll just get him there. He has to.
He loves the controversy, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week had Jared on because we had a pretty shitty matchup to begin with. I thought we were for sure going to have one of the worst matchups in the league, and then at the end of it, ended up being a really close one. I ended up getting the win. It was 94-91. Some unfortunate, untimely injuries prevented you from maybe completing the comeback on me. But let's maybe just walk people through. So in the early games, I had Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. Bengals played absolutely terribly. Got nothing out of them. You, on the other hand, did you have some early guys going?
Yeah, it was shit from the get-go.
You had T. Higgins from the Bengals.
I owe the group an ice. I got a drink.
Smirnoff chug.
Yeah. It was just like, well, Aaron Jones did well, but I was just waiting on that Monday night game to save me.
Right. And no, I mean, like the whole time, I feel like it was like 79-74 projected, or like, even like high 60s at one point. The Sunday night game for me really, really brought it back. I wasn't even watching, just texting some people, and saw Dallas had a quick block punt for the touchdown. They ended up getting another touchdown right after that. They had 7 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, a block, 2 interceptions, 0 points allowed to put up a 32 spot, which I think is like the highest defensive score I've seen since playing fantasy. I can't really think of a higher one than that.
High.
Yeah. So I'm going in. Jared had like 50 points, but he still had Jets D. He had Aaron Rodgers.
And I had Diggs.
And you had Diggs.
Can I just say before we get into Monday night,
mm-hmm.
when the games kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern time, fantasy season starts, NFL season, you just want to score points. You just want to like be watching Red Zone and have your guys scoring. And that just was the opposite for me and you too.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there like, oh, perfect. This is great.
Oh, this fantasy sucks. I mean, we'll get into the Vikings game too. It's like that just put me in like a sour mood.
Yeah.
My fantasy teams were sucking dick. The Vikings sucked dick. It was bad news bears. But going into that Monday night game, I'm up like 90-50 basically, and I still have Gabe Davis, so I'm not even paying attention to the game. Like I think it's won for sure. I think like I've locked up the 2 points, and then I feel like saw the Rodgers injury. Talk me through it, but what emotions
Well,
were you
first of
feeling?
all, I just want to start with the beginning of the game. Did you watch like that entrance? Rodgers is running out with the flag. The stadium's packed. It looked like the Super Bowl in there. I called my commanding officer. I was like, I'm re-enlisting.
It's another 10 years. Get me a
I was like,
Camaro.
this is amazing. First series of the game, Rodgers goes down. I call him back. I said, forget that. I'm fucking done.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I took Rodgers so late. It's not like he's a first round pick or anything. So as he goes down, I
right.
mean, I was fantasy wise, I was just like, oh great. I already thought I had lost the week. So I was like,
Right. And yeah, I mean, that's when I stopped like watching. I'm like, okay, there's no shot Jared can come back on me here. And then you texted me like halfway through the third quarter and said something like, oh, if Rodgers had actually played, like I probably would
yeah,
have beat you. And I was like, what? And then I started looking at the score, and Diggs had like 16 points. Jets D were close to 20. And I'm like, you could definitely come back on me here.
yeah. And I'm rooting for overtime so hard, And it was cool. It was kind of the
Well,
way.
and we've seen it before too, where it's like that, like 40-yard, because at one point Diggs just needed the 40-yard, 50-yard touchdown or something, and you would have taken the lead on me. Goes into overtime, still the same situation, probably only needs like a 30-yard, 25-yard touchdown or something.
Yeah.
And then when they punted and Jets D brought it back for the touchdown, I absolutely panicked because I was like, I think Jared might have done it there.
Mm-hmm.
And then checking back, you end up losing by 3 points. But
I'm happy I scraped out 1 point. So
yeah,
having those points late by Diggs was awesome, and Judge D, of course. So getting 1 point wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I mean the 1 point in this league, you just can't go. You can't go like 2 weeks without getting a point. Like you just got to rack them up. However you can do it. I kind of skipped over this. I said we were going to talk about it, but how have you liked the sleeper app and the rule changes to our league this year?
Let's see. At first, with the whole flex thing, I was kind of against that, but I don't mind it. It's kind of fun. You're going to probably score way more points, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in theory, but it was kind of a bad week one for everybody across the board.
Right.
I don't know. Sleeper. I like the standings. That's cool. How you can do the against the median. But the weird thing is you get lost too. That won't really affect anything, right?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think it would, but yeah.
I don't think it'll be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I've found like, and I think it would be with any app, and it would probably have the same problems like first time starting out on the ESPN app, but it's a little hard to navigate, and there's a lot going on.
There's too much. There's too much information.
And it's like to like get the scoring breakdown of your guy is like you have to hit the like tiny points that they have. And I was a big like on ESPN when I would do Gamecast all the time, which I thought was like a lot smoother on the ESPN fantasy app, where like you could just click on it and it would give you, if you go to this one, like you click on the game, it doesn't give you like the scoring plays, or maybe I just haven't found it. If I haven't found it, I'll find it, guys. Leave me alone. But it like was giving me every single play, and it's like I don't care if they threw it out of bounds, I don't need all this info.
There's a lot going on, but it's easier. It's just easier with the standings and everything. So yeah, it's not a big deal. I think we should actually implement that Smirnoff Ice thing. Like we should just do it next week from here on out. That is so.
I'm down to do it. Maybe we just commit. We just find enough people. If Joe Burrow,
should we just do it this week?
Yeah, I'll do it. If who's going to get 0 for me? If Brandon Cooks gets 0 points, I'll definitely send a Smirnoff Ice jug.
That's fun.
Okay, moving on. We are introducing a new segment on the podcast this year, and that is the Down Bad Back Up segment. Each week, me and my guest are each going to pick a league owner who is down bad and a league owner who is back up. And Jared, why don't you start us off with your down bad this week?
All right. This down bad is going to come as no surprise. He was the lowest scoring team this week with 58.82 points. My down bad of the week is Samuel Nodler. I think to understand this down bad, you have to go all the way back to draft night. This guy's driving around. His phone's about to die. He's in and out. He's bidding on guys. Maybe 30 minutes goes by before he bids on another guy. Nah, this is a real deal league. You got to be at your battle station ready to draft.
You got to carve out time. I mean, the date was set.
You got to call him sick, brother. You got to call in a bomb threat or something.
Especially auction too, like with Nods' personality type, he must have been absolutely panicking.
Oh, just twirling his hair left and right. But so that's where it all started, I think. Tough week for Nods with J.K. Dobbins going down.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, he did get Justice Hill this morning. He picked him up, so that's good. But going forward, I think he just really needs to hit the waiver wire. He has like no running backs. He has some good wide receivers, Chase, CD, and McLaurin, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the final thing I'll say to Nods is Dak is not that guy. Trust me. I dealt with this 2 years ago. I said, never again. I cannot have this man on my team. He is just a absolute menace out there.
It's so weird. I have him in another league, and I just felt the exact same way after week one. I'm just like, this is not the quarterback. And you kind of have to draft him like not early, but he's probably the 7th or 8th, 9th quarterback that you draft. So it's not like you're getting him like in the 14th round or something like that. But yeah, I was pretty disappointed with his performance, and I'm sure Nods was as well.
Yeah, I mean, he'll, like we always say, he'll figure it out. He's just going to have to actually hit some trades up and pound that.
He might actually have to trade this year.
Yeah,
which I don't think he's ever done. So,
and Nods, we need a name out of you. We need a good name for your team. Come on,
something. All right, good down bad. My down bad, no surprises here. It is the second lowest scorer in Sam Elliott. Put up a 72.34 bomb. Mentioned this in my draft grades, but Sam picked a couple of guys that he knew were not going to be available early on. That would be Jonathan Taylor. That would be Cooper Kupp. And this is the problem with this league. Like, if you're not getting points early, you can find yourself at the very end of the league, and then you just got to scramble to get back. So, I mean, if, let's say, after week 5, both of those guys come back, if you're 10 points down, which I don't think you'll be 10 points down. I guess the most you could be is 8 points down. So you definitely won't be 10 points down. But it's just going to be tough to come back. And I don't know if he's looking to potentially trade those guys. He also had Christian Watson out this week, which is brutal. Seems like he's questionable this week as well.
Let me see this team.
And he has Cam Akers, who
Ooh.
You know my history with Cam Akers.
0 acres. He's back at it again. You got to tutty, but 22 carries, 29 yards. Ooh.
Dude, that's what it was last year. It was just nothing explosive from him. Pretty freaking
Sam
brutal.
had a 0 bomb too. Drake London. There's a lot of 0 bombs this week.
There would have been a lot of smear. That would be fun too. Like you and a guy we're just sending Smirnoff chugs back. I'm just gonna have to go buy some. Yeah, so Sam's got a long road to climb up.
It's a long season.
It's a long season. I'm actually going to do the first back up because
we back
up. And my backup is going to be Jeff Osborne. Lowest draft grade. Mr. D+. Lowest draft grade this year. But I will say, also, I was listening to the first pod again. I feel like my grades didn't really reflect what I was saying about the teams. Like, I kind of just wrote the grades out and then talked through the teams. And then I was like, oh, I guess I gave them a B-. So that's on me. That's my bad.
Are you willing to go back and adjust his grade?
We can't do that. No.
Okay.
I'm unwilling to do that.
I mean,
but
that's fair.
Yeah, I put it out there. It's there.
If nothing, you are fair and impartial. I know that about you.
That is, you could not be more accurate about that. Similar to Sam's team, like, well, not really similar, but he's kind of banking on a couple of guys, whereas like Sam is banking on these guys to come back and be, elite players. Jeff is banking on his top three of McCaffrey, Barkley, and Jefferson to put up massive points and get him wins. And that's exactly what happened this week. McCaffrey, 24 points. Jefferson, 19.5 points. Saquon only had 7.8, but honestly, kind of impressive for how bad the
that
Giants
game was
were.
A wash anyways.
Dude,
yeah.
That game fucking sucked. Not for Dallas D, though. That was sick. So this is what Jeff's team is going to be. You got to rely on these three guys, and they definitely performed week one. And
who he picked up today, right?
Who did you pick up?
That wide receiver for the Rams, Nakua. Is that how you say it?
No, he had him.
Oh, he had him. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he tried to trade me him for Addison yesterday.
Oh,
I said no.
Damn,
I know. Jeff's.
Let's go.
I think Jeff's already put like 10 trades out there, FYI. So if you didn't get one, your team sucks.
Damn.
But good job this week, Jeff.
Interesting draft strategy. We haven't really seen that. Just go hard. Just go hard at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear him when he comes on talk about that strat. I wonder if he was busy. He had something going on for an hour, so he just,
he just went early.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was that the first 8 picks? Mm-hmm. I think all 3 of those guys.
I wonder what the time between. He probably had like an hour between like his 3rd and 4th pick or something.
Yeah. Honestly, thank God, because he nominated Dallas D for 1, and I just couldn't let him just get who he wants for $1, so I bid 2. So worked out for me. Who's your backup?
My backup. All right, this was easy. Top scorer of the league this week. Shout out Wooly. 104. Let's go, baby. And he did this despite what's his name? Goddard? Maybe. Getting a 0 bomb. So that's you owe us a nice Will. And Christian Kirk got 1.4. So that's pretty impressive being top scorer with those 2 guys. He has Eckler and Henry, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a
if good. They stay healthy, like that's a fucking dynamic.
That's a really good RB punch.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry has just kind of been like, he is never like the exciting pick, but is he like a top 5 running back every year?
Just gets points, baby. He's literally 7 feet tall. It's insane.
He's just a massive motherfucker.
Yeah. So good job, Wool. I did see that you dropped Deuce Vaughn. Come on, really? Come on. You might have to pick him back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see.
You definitely got to change your name. He's Olave dropping deuces, so definitely need to change.
Shit. You can just be Olave dropping if you want, but you got to change that name. Change it.
All right, that is our down bad backup. Just to do a quick recap of the standings, as mentioned, Matthew Woolery in first place secured the 2 points, followed by Tate Garrett's, Josh Palmer, Jeff Osborne, myself with the 2 points, and then Jared in 6th, securing the 1 point, Schneider with 1 point as well, getting the victory. And then with 0 points, that would be Higgins, Aaron Schwecke, former champion, current champion, JT, Sam Elliott, and Sam Nodler. So got some work to do, but it's early, and we start again tomorrow night.
It's go time, baby.
Just right back at it.
One thing I want to say, this doesn't really pertain to standings, but I noticed by Josh's name, since he's the commissioner, he has a little C with a star by his name.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go in there and see if we can add. I want a D by mine for dog.
You think I'm an
Um,
L?
Yeah, but a lot of season left. We'll see.
I know. Wait, I do want, dude. I like these little emojis too. They put like, is this a poop emoji next to Higgins' score? Yeah, because he allowed the most points.
I mean, this is just way more interactive, but I think that, I don't know. It's probably, we just have to get used to it, I think.
I think it's fun. It's not like too confusing where it's like, I don't even know what to do. It definitely took me a little bit like figuring out how to change my lineup. But I mean, a couple weeks in, we'll be fine.
We'll be good.
So let's talk a little Minnesota Vikings. Just horrible. Just the worst fucking way to start the season. Go Jersey Jerry for him. Throw that thing. Vikings lose to Tampa Bay 17-20. Baker Mayfield, Big Dick Baker did it to us. A weird game. Never really got anything going, but I was talking to Sam Elliott about this, and in the fourth quarter, it's like, okay, we're sucking, we're not playing well, but we're gonna win this game, right? Like, there's no way, even with like 5 minutes left in the fourth, I'm like, okay, we're gonna go down and score. We're gonna at least kick a field goal, bring it to OT. But that did not happen. We were not good. Some stats from the game. Kirk Cousins, 3 turnovers. None of them necessarily his fault, but definitely wasn't good enough to win. He was 33 for 44, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Had 344? Yeah, that's like the second most passing yards in the league or something like that.
Oh, really?
Behind Tua, yeah.
Yeah. Alexander Mattison, only 34 rushing yards. Not great. Although Dalvin Cook didn't do much for the Jets either. So it's not like we necessarily.
We're still up. Well, in that sense.
We still up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're down in the.
Wait, we lost. So we are back
Yeah.
there.
Nice to see a Jordan Addison touchdown there. He had 4 receptions for 60 yards and a tutty. JJ did his thing, 9 receptions, 150 yards. But I do feel like there are just these gaps in the game where he just doesn't get the ball.
Yeah, in the second half, it's like, what are we doing? We need to score.
Yeah,
I don't. To JJ, let him do his thing.
Yeah. You know who I kind of liked during the game? Josh Oliver.
Yeah.
Our backup tight end. I feel like he was doing something.
Back up.
He had 3 catches, 32 yards, had some third down conversions.
Okay.
I thought he was good, but overall, what are your feelings on the Vikes and going forward?
I mean, just for the love of God, can we get some help on this whole line? Like, do we have to do like Invincible style Marky Mark tryouts? Just get guys off the street in there? Do we have to go drive down to Iowa and find like the biggest farmers we can? Like, what's going on?
Let's get the Mountain from Game of Thrones, and pay him $10 million. Like, he can't be making that much money as a strong man. Dude, like,
when you get Kirk Cousins, a good Christian man, on the sideline, just yelling. I mean, it looked like he had the Holy Spirit going through him. He was. I've never seen him that mad. It's just like years and years of like, for the love of God, please help him.
And yeah, I mean, it's just like, okay, so here's negative Nancy Aiden coming out. We obviously have the Thursday night game tomorrow. Could be an absolute slaughter.
Yeah.
Versus the Eagles.
I don't think they're the same team they were last year. I think.
Yeah, they kind of struggled against New England.
A lot of their secondary is different from last year. I know they have some guys out. I think Gainwell's out. I mean, not like they don't have 15 RBs on the bench, but I don't know.
They're but speaking of the bad O line, Jalen Carter, who was their like pick, I think he was the 10th pick and was like maybe going to be the number 1 pick, but he had that like incident, that driving incident. Forget what happened. He was unreal next week, so he might just eat up our O line, and Kirk might get put in a body bag.
Yep. He has the armor of God. Come on.
That's so true. Why does the man above give him? Yeah.
He knows he can handle it. One thing about the game that this was just the nail in the coffin. Just so terrible. I don't think it was the last first down Baker ran for, but it was in the second half, and he just like stiff arms Murphy, and then he just says like, "Get your weight up," and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Like, we cannot let.
I love that dog, but like I wish Kirk had a little bit of that sometimes, but whatever.
He's never going to stiff arm a guy though. That's the problem. But here's the thing. So if we lose tomorrow, we have another tough game against the Chargers at home.
Oof.
It's like, if we go 0-3 here, is it worth tanking for Caleb Williams at USC? Like, we'd have a rookie quarterback on a rookie contract with all of our other dudes signed for the most part once they get the Jefferson thing figured out. Like, it's just going to be hard to lose that many games with Kirk, because it's not like Kirk's going to go out there and throw games or anything, but just something to think about that I definitely thought about plenty of times during that first game.
We're winning tomorrow. It's a long time coming. We're going to put the hurt down on the Eagles after what they did to us the last couple of years, you know?
Yeah.
And then we're not going to worry about it. And we're back. And we're back up. And it's that easy.
And then, okay, question. Tomorrow, do we need to be in that bit?
Yeah, we got to be up in that. And we will be. And we would. Trust.
Big trust. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so ugly start, but it's Minnesota. What do you expect? We'll be fine. Another new segment. Not even really a segment. I just wanted to do it with Jared. So don't have any fantasy up. Don't have like Sleeper app up or anything like that. It is fantasy football related trivia. You are going to try and guess the perfect fantasy football lineup from this week. What would have scored the most points, and then guess how many points that team would have scored. So this is our format. So 2 flexes, defense, no kicker. You have to go and pick the player and then guess what the total would have been. And I have it up right here.
All right. So QB has to be Tua, right? He had the most passing yards.
If that's your guess.
It's Tua. Let's see. I'll go. How many wide receivers am I picking? 2 or 3? Or I guess 2 to start.
You're picking, what our format is.
Easy. Okay, Tyreek, easy. And then I'm going to go with the Patriots wide receiver who had 2 tutties. I don't know his name, but that's who I'm going with.
I forget that dude's name too.
It was definitely him because I know he had like 1 or like half a point more than Diggs. So I'm going with him. Running backs. Aaron Jones, I had him. I think he had like 25. Second running back, though, is tough. I'm going to go with Algier, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to go with Algier.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now what, flex, I guess? Yeah. Is it our
or you can do tight end. You're missing
tight
end. You're missing the 2 flexes and the defense.
Okay, two flexes. Oh, shit. That's going to be tough. Well, defense, Dallas, obviously. Tight end. Oh, man. Hunter Henry. He had a tutty. Hunter Henry. He had a thick one-handed catch, too. That was dope.
I might have bet a little too much on Hunter Henry this week.
I mean,
I
bid
17, and the next highest bet.
Or me and someone else bid 6 or something, right?
Yeah.
All right, the 2 flexes is tough. Diggs, and then probably another wide receiver. I'll do Diggs, and actually I'm going to do McCaffrey. And that's it.
And then how many points do you think that would have scored?
Oh, shit. 145.
All right. I wouldn't say close. Definitely not close on the amount of points it would have scored, but here's what you did. Tua is out of frame here. There we go. Tua, correct. Aaron Jones, correct. The running back was not correct, but you did end up saying him, Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, okay.
So you did get that. Tyreek Hill was correct. The New England wide receiver was not correct. The correct answer was Ayuk. 28.9.
Two tutties. Damn.
Two tutties. Hunter Henry was right. Dallas D was right. And then for the flexes, you missed Austin Eckler. He put up 24.4. And Jacoby Myers, 24.6.
Where's he at?
Vegas. But he had that like crazy hit where like he got knocked the fuck out. So who knows how he's doing. Total points that would have scored 240 points.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Big dogs. Dallas, baby, 32 points.
That's actually pretty close. I was only off by 95. Not bad. Wait, 40.
Well, I mean, you think about it, like between Tyreek, Dallas,
40 bomb,
and Ayuk, that's 100 points right there.
I wish you would have let me prep for that. God damn it.
The problem is now I can't do this segment anymore because anybody who listens can just look it up.
You can do.
All right. Anything else you wanna talk about?
You didn't have trivia? Damn. I thought we were gonna
you give me
longer
something
with trivia. Oh shit! I got nothing.
All right, Jared. Well,
can I end with a quote from OJ?
Absolutely.
9/11 is just a bad day for New York. He said that on a podcast today. And he's not wrong.
Where's the lie?
There's no lie.
I'd say there's a younger generation that thinks, yes, that the Aaron Rodgers injury was worse than 9/11.
Do you think in 50 years it will be known as the day Aaron Rodgers went down?
I think there's a good shot.
Yeah.
Hey, well, OJ said it, not us. So, Jared, pleasure having you on. Thank you for joining us. And we'll hope to get you back on later in the season.
Absolutely. Thanks, AC.
Thanks again to Jared for joining me on the podcast today. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Make sure to drop a comment down below if you'd like to come on, if you got a segment idea for us. Love to hear it. And we'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace.